Welcome to a Market Brief special. I'm Caroline Woods, and I'm joined by Tal Cohen, Executive Vice President and Head of North American Markets at Nasdaq. Tal, great to have you with us.
Great to be here, Caroline. Thanks for having me.
To start, I would love to get a broader sense of your take on the markets, the turbulence we've seen, the bounce from the lows, the earnings and economic data we're up against, most recently, of course, those jobless claims. Is the bear market over, Tal?
Well, that's hard to tell because that's going to be tied to the health crisis and our ability to flatten the curve. But what I can share with you is that over the last couple of weeks, we've seen the market absorb and digest information much more efficiently. Spreads have come in, so people are repricing risk more efficiently. We've seen the depth of the market improve. We've seen the VIX come down by half. And so while still elevated, we think investors are getting more comfortable with digesting the news and understanding what's going on now. Earnings season presents an interesting opportunity for additional information to come into the market around the outlook of the market. And so far, it's been a mixed bag in terms of what we've seen and heard. And then eventually, I think we're going to all focus our attention on the reopening. And I think that will be the next set of questions that investors will be having.
And earnings season obviously is just this is Q1 is just the beginning, doesn't even really show the full impact of coronavirus. But where is this optimism that we've been seeing coming from? And I guess what's needed to keep this rally going?
So the earnings season has probably been a mixed bag so far, where we haven't seen much of the impact in Q1 because really only half of March here, at least in the U.S., where we saw the lockdowns and then the precautions taken. So you really don't see them playing out in Q1. I think investors are more focused on the outlook. So when companies talk about their dividends or their outlook in the future, I think that's where people are focused. And also, of course, the health crisis. So as the health crisis has been unfolding over the last couple of days, there's been a sense that the curve is flattening. There's been a sense that we're doing a better job in testing capacity, and we're talking about contact tracing and other things that we can do. And now you're also starting to hear a lot of CEOs talk about their plans for reopening the office. So I think that's where some of the optimism is coming from. But you got to balance that with what we've seen in oil and other parts of the economy recently as well.
Well, looking specifically at the Nasdaq 100, what do you make of the resiliency that we've been seeing in tech for the most part? Is this going to be a growth over value story continued?
Yeah, so we're proud of the performance of the Nasdaq 100. In fact, it's taken in over $5 billion of AUM over the last couple of months. So it's been a source of strength for the ETF business and the ETF industry. And I think people are looking at the companies involved and that are part of that index and understanding that they may be coming out of this crisis in a position of strength when you look at some of those companies relative to other sectors of the economy.
Tal Cohen, great to have you with us. Thanks so much for providing us with your insights.
Thank you for having me today, Caroline, and be well.